My name is Sebastian Bruno. I go to Rhodes College and Career High School. I'm a senior. Through the pandemic, my mental health it went down through a spiral, I'd say. I was a pretty happy person before, being isolated by myself, not being able to see my friends, not being able to see half my family. It really took a toll on me in the long run. I kept it to myself thinking that I had to. Not too many men are able to express their emotions these days. That's how I was taught as a kid, to just keep it in. Don't really let anyone see your weakness.
My name is Kayla Young. I am a senior at Rhodes College and Career Academy. I know for me, it was hard. It impacted me hard because, I was just in my room all day, staring at the same four walls. It was just, I don't know. It was just like I was trapped, kind of. I couldn't be around friends or family because we was trying to stay away. We didn't want to get the virus, I was just depressed.
My name is Tyshawn Lane. I'm a senior at Rhodes College and Career Academy. During the pandemic, I was stressed out. I had anxiety because I'm not used to being in the house that long and just in my room. So things I did was work out and eat so I can gain. So I was excited because we had our football season was coming up. We're during the pandemic. We didn't have a football season due to COVID.
My name is Jamal Sumlin. I am a 12th grader at James Rhodes. The impact on my mental health during the pandemic was really nothing for real because I was still doing what I was doing because I was out at Yesenia, if y'all know what that is, at Ann Arbor, Michigan. I was still playing basketball, just moving around and stuff.
I'm Xavier Ospino, and I attend Rhodes College and Career Academy. The pandemic, I would say that's where it influenced my mental health the most. I've been so used to running away from my feelings this whole time. And being locked in your house, you can't really do that. So it was so easy to just mope around and sit and, not get anything done. And I say that's where it made a bad turn, but in the end, it was like a blessing in disguise because that's how I learned who I really was.
So mental health is like what you think and how you act. Like, for example, if you have a lot on your plate and you get one done and you still stressing out, you have mental health.
I would say everyone defines it differently. I define it as what allows you to run on a day-to-day basis. It controls your physical health. It controls everything, your spiritual health. Your mental health really just is it's like the base for your whole body. If that's not right, then you can't get yourself right.
The way I define mental health is just staying yourself and making sure you're having people in your corner that can help you through adversity and stuff. And making sure you always on top of your health, you feel me? You gotta be healthy to be doing anything. I don't think a lot of kids feel comfortable with mental health because a lot of kids can't explain how they feel or what they going through in life. I just think they keep it to themselves and just let them do them and just continue to do what they do.
I define mental health as it's really how we portray ourselves. Everybody puts on a facade when they're in public and everything. So mental health is something not people really take a good look at and throw it to the side. And then when it really comes time to face it, I feel like no one really knows who they are.
I was struggling with this at first, but I realized I need to talk to somebody. I can't have it in my just have it in my head and keep it to myself. That's what I was doing, so I realized I have to talk to people. So it made me feel better. I was to myself, I come to school with a smile on my face, like everything's good, but it wasn't good. So it was really tough doing that.
I would define mental health as just a mind frame, if you're feeling good or bad. For me, my community, it kind of put me in a scared mind frame because, I can't really walk outside without having to watch my surroundings and, watch to see if people shooting or, just seeing somebody get killed is very, very traumatic. It's very traumatic.
I feel like the community disregards it a lot. I feel like especially in men nowadays, we're just supposed to be so manly and showing any emotions if you're soft or you're this, you're that. So I feel like the community puts a chip on men's shoulder and everybody's shoulder, because it's for women too, to just hold strong and not really show who you really are on the inside.
it's like for the community, I love where I'm from, but it can affect you badly because it get really traumatizing down there late at night. Like you don't know what's gonna happen to you that day. It's a lot of anxiety just living down there because you don't know what's gonna happen at that moment. You feel me? Like you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time down there, for real.
I think the community plays a big part in kids' mental health these days. A lot of the violence in the young neighborhoods, they lead kids to go down wrong paths, and they just sometimes school I think helps with the mental health because it's like a escape for some kids. It's a home away from home. They get a free meal. They get to kick it with the friends, you know. So they look at some teachers as parents.
I think a community plays a big part of people's mental health because you grew up in different spots. Like I grew up on East 30th Street, so that's a very tough neighborhood. And I feel like me just going into the hood and just looking at things, you feel me, it can hurt me or it can, you feel me, it can motivate me. I think a school played the biggest part of mental health because a lot of kids come to school to look at it as their free time and be willing to do what they want to do to get to college. And I feel like the teachers can help students with that.
I would say school too. I'd say less than social media or everything else because in school it feels, at least here in Rhodes, it feels more like a safe spot and everyone has a real understanding of each other, but there's still that small side of we have to hide who we really are because we don't want to be seen as soft or something.
For me right now, I know since I'm in 12th grade, since I'm a senior year, they put a lot of pressure on us to graduate. You know, you gotta, what's your next steps in life? What's your plan? What's your move? What you gonna do? It's a big thing for me right now. It's a pressure for me because I'm going to college and I was so set on going to Bowling Green, and then the beginning of this year, I changed my mind on where I wanted to go. So it was like everything just fell on me at one time. It was just, I couldn't deal with it.
A lot of adults, parents, teachers, bosses, anything, they expect a lot and they don't give what they get. A lot of people are takers, and that's what adults are. Adults like to take in what the children are giving them these days, but don't dish out what the children need.
School affects my mental health really positive because when I come to school, I'm like the face of my school. You feel me? That's how I feel, and they make my day so positive. Like I want to be a leader. They make me want to be a leader. Emotionally, it make me feel good about myself. You know, make me want to go talk to kids, be a leading example for my family.
The name of this poem is Tragic Rose. Such a beauty, gorgeous red petals, stem covered in thorns. A beauty exposed so bluntly, not a thing could compare. Just like a rose, a romance can only grow to wither. Forget the formality of the poem above. A desert rose can bloom in the dry weather. I had to constantly fight my way through thin cracks. The sun, merely a nightlight in this dark world, pitch black. Nothing but pitch black. I finally see my shriveled rose soul, the vines wrapped around my arms, thorns prickled and cut. My petals no longer held their vibrant white tint, now stained red by my blood. They plucked me. Their tainted hands lifted me from the ground before I could see the light, before I could see that life was all right, before I could see that maybe I wouldn't cry tonight. Their tainted hands plucked me from the gravel before I could even shine. I guess some flowers don't bloom when covered by vines.
I feel like right now the way we think is like it's completely off from what y'all think about, or what older people think about, because I'm not sure how to put it. It's like y'all been through way more than us, so y'all could tell us way more. It's just like whatever we say, I feel like adults look down on it. Like, oh, like why are you doing this? What is? I don't know.
I feel like when it's tough times, I feel like adults should be like outgoing. Like if we come to the adult trying to talk to you about something important to us, they shouldn't be like laughing at us, making fun of us. I feel like they should give us some really good advice and listen to what we gotta say, acknowledge those things.
If I can give the parents a little bit of advice, I'd say be more patient. Give them the same respect you expect them to give you. Just be understanding. That's really it.
I would tell a dog, a parent, like anybody, like just be respectful to the children and tell them how you feel. Don't lie to them, because if you lie to them, it's gonna hurt them. Because if they find out you lied to them, they just gonna do whatever they do.
For an adult to get to a teen, it's a lot of patience nowadays, but you have to really be for them. Don't place like the stress like, oh, you have to tell me what's going on or this or that. You have to be patient with them. You have to work with them. Like for me, my uncle was the person I talked to, and he was patient with me. He gave me the reassurance I needed, and that's how I got through it.
A lot of things change. A lot more kids have anxiety because of the pandemic, and a lot of adults don't know how to deal with that because people growing up in the 80s, 90s, they didn't have to. Anxiety really wasn't looked at. It was just a thing, you know. Just, if you got anxiety, you pass it off. You don't really talk to nobody about it. And nowadays, adults are learning to cope with it. It's never been a malicious thing. It's new to them. So they're taking baby steps towards it.
I feel like a parent should always listen to the kid, because some things we go through, the parents didn't go through. So I feel like they should listen to what we have to say, so they can acknowledge those things, so they can help us.
I do feel like adults place some stress and anxiety on teens. I never feel like it's purposeful. Like my parents, they place some stress on me, but it's because they want me to be successful in the end, and they want me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes if it means putting some stress on me, then I mean, it is what it is to get the job done.
What I would tell parents talking to teens is just be open-minded, be able to listen, and be understanding.
A good teacher to me, just being respectful and staying loyal and making sure I'm on top of my books. You feel me? Don't switch sides. Treat everybody the same. Don't let the outside get in the inside. Don't let the outside of people terrorize what we got going on.
Growing up, I didn't have the best mental health. I got into a lot of stupid things because of it. Depression led me to take many various paths that weren't good for me as a kid, and slowly I've been bringing it back, working on myself as a human, but it really put me in a dark place because I didn't worry about that because, again, I was taught not to worry about that. To cope with things, I started doing drugs, got into a lot of things in the street, just kind of used them to forget. And then I met a couple people. I ended up opening up to my mom later on in life, and she actually helped me a lot. She was able to sit down and talk with me. I really realized that those things weren't for me. I didn't need them to be myself, and I just started just looking at myself as a human and not just an outsider.
2-3 weeks ago, I was having anxiety and I was suicidal, you know? And I was about to call the phone number on the hotline, and Miss Black and Miss Martinez thought I was joking, but I was dead serious, because I was going some things, and so I had to talk with them about some real stuff. I don't really come out to people, talk to people about some stuff like that, and it was about being the first in my generation to go to college, my family generation to go to college, and that's heavy on my shoulders, and being a lean example for my family. And I was so tough on myself because my little cousin that went here had passed away, he got killed. And he was like my other half. So I was really going through some things at the time too. Dude, got this guy here named Mr. Brewer. He like a father figure to me, so he was in there talking to me too. He told me that's not an option. Like, I got people up here looking after me, looking for me. And I'm a leading example, and like, since I'm a leading example, that can affect them too if I do that to myself. And I don't want to have like a domino effect to that, you know. So I want to continue being a leading example, help motivate other people to do good things.
For me, I know when I'm stressed out, it's I can't, if I'm at school and I'm having a situation at home, I can't function in school. I can't, because my mind is gonna be set on this one thing that I'm dealing with at home. I'm just not able to, do what I'm doing at that point. It's just my mind is just set on this one thing that happened.
When it comes to a parent, I mean, I'd say even at the youngest age, try to build that relationship and that idea that being sad sometimes, or feeling like you're unhealthy when it comes to your mental, is okay. And to try to build that bond of being able to talk to one another, because a lot of parents try building that when it's too late and the teens are already shut out on trying to show their emotions to their parents. I definitely have experienced some stress and anxiety. I'd say mainly during the pandemic. Towards the end of it, I started realizing I was slipping in school, and it was like, I got 1 year left, I gotta get myself straight. It impacted me. I was just always stressed. I never really felt like I had time for myself. I feel like it was too late and I was in a rush to get my career in order. And so it took a toll on me, definitely, but it made me push through it in the end.
My advice when it comes to mental health is just be strong and don't let yourself down, you feel me? Because if you let yourself down, it can stop you from the future. Like, you just gotta keep moving, you feel me? You gotta let everything in the past stay in the past. I think some kids will open up to a teacher or a parent at certain situations, but majority of kids don't really care about what they want to say to teacher. They'll let the teacher do whatever they do.
Rhodes High School shaped my views by teaching me how to stay alive, by going to the west side to go to school instead of staying on the east side going to East Tech. The teacher at Rhodes High School took me on field trips based off my career path after I graduated from high school. And I realized the world's bigger where I come from, and I realized there's more opportunities. And I actually realized that the teachers at Rhodes really care about me. They're rooting for me, and they praying for me. Growing up in inner city could be dangerous, but it's really fun at the same time, man. I met my best friends growing up in inner city. I've seen a lot of bad things happen too, but growing up in inner city, you learn how to survive. A traumatic experience in my life was losing my younger cousin to gun violence. He was walking home from the Boys and Girls Club, and some dude just came up and shot him 15 times. He was a good dude, just like me. He stayed out of trouble. He went to Rhodes Environmental Studies for his freshman year, and since we had COVID, he really wasn't going to school. He was like one of the half, so and that affected the rest of my high school career mentally. Family is really important to me. That's like my heart, I do what I do is for them. It's for my family. And they push me, and I push them. So it's very important to set examples for my younger siblings, because I want to lead the way. I want to show them how to lead the way by showing them good ways to lead the way. It's like getting good grades, graduating from high school, getting your license, passing your driving tests, building good character. And by having good character, that'll take you a long way, So growing up, it hasn't always been easy for us, but she made me realize that I need to get my education. So we don't end up living in the projects forever, She's our rock. As I graduated from high school, I realized I have my whole life ahead of me and more opportunities, and I owe some of that to Rhodes College Career Academy. Thank y'all. Appreciate you all done what you done for me. Peace out.
To an 8th grader or anybody coming into high school, the first thing I give them is come in with the healthy mindset. Definitely be on top of your stuff early. That in the later years of school, that can affect how your mental health is, because if you feel like you're not doing right, you start questioning your career and your future and making questionable decisions. Also, surround yourself with the right people. High school, a lot of your friends are going to change, a lot. And you might have to let some go, you might have to meet some new ones, but don't shut out other people just because you believe, oh, that's not for me.
Stay focused, stay motivated, and don't let nobody, you feel me, bother you.
My advice for someone coming into high school would be just stay on top of your work. Do what your teachers say. They're not trying to put you in harm's way or trying to put you in the wrong path. Do your work, keep your grades up. Just stay on top of whatever you need to do.
My biggest piece of advice for the youth that are coming into high school or that are in their first year of high school is to really be true to yourself. Don't let no one else dictate who you are as a person, and just try and find people who really compliment you.
I would encourage them to talk to somebody yourself, you know? Talk to somebody about it. It might help you in a positive way. After graduation, I would be going to Ashland University to play football and major in finance. So when I major in finance, I want to be an investment manager, help people with their money and stocks and stuff like that, so they can help budget the money so they can have things when they get older, you know? So I plan on doing with that, just making as much money as I can to help my family and my community.
After graduation, I plan on attending CSU for kinesiology. I want to be a sports medicine major and a sports medicine physician. My ultimate goal is really just to help people any way possible.
After high school, I plan on going to the University of Akron to get my BSN. I'm majoring in nursing.
My goals is to major in sports and medicine and try to take basketball as far as possible. Because I have a family that I have to feed, and I have a daughter that I gotta, you feel me, provide for, and my mom have to get out the hood for sure.
I'm graduating this year, June 8th, and next fall I'm going to the Tri-C for welding.
This poem is called Letting Go by me, and I mean, it's about letting go of some things, holding you back. Letting go. The past holds you back like elastic bands. Trauma digs deep like a blade in the ribcage. Insecurities wrap around the throat that grasps for breath. Isolation only darkens the visions ahead. Eyes are punching bags for sleepless nights. Hands grasp a false ideal. Then comes a time when tension must leave. Desperation only feeds an empty stomach. Consumption won't kill the hunger. But change can fuel the soul, if you allow it, only if you allow it. Hands let go of false ideals, eyes drain dry of tears, pupils shrink to the sight of light. Insecurities disperse as the first breath is taken. The blade of trauma is now ripped from the ribcage and cuts the elastic bands of the past, and forward is where we go.